it's going to happen. It's the same triggering situation, separation, inconsistent warmth. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold, emotional withdrawal, uncertainty about divorce, about reconciliation, But now, instead of going in that crazy direction of just false hope around one signal, instead of allowing the latest interaction to define reality, you return to God, your source of truth, not just your emotions. You return to gratitude, just the idea that things can be a lot worse, so that you don't let that one moment determine your mood, right? You're finding your footing, right? You return to emotional stability. You return to prayer if need be, because you cannot control another human being, and there's a ton of things you can control. But the good news is that you have more than enough you can control by having self. Okay, you have more than enough that you can control. We call it self, guys. Your self-awareness, your self-leadership, right? And you go back to what you can presently control, how you present yourself in every opportunity that is being presented to you just by being alive. That's the whole point of gratitude, right? Anyway, I don't want to turn this into preaching, but the idea is grounding, right? So now we find ourselves at evidence, right? You're not evaluating moments, okay? You evaluate patterns, guys. You evaluate, you observe, you feel, you receive, you receive patterns, okay? As opposed to, so the evidence, to call something evidence, it has to be pattern, okay? You can, if somebody is nice to you, you take it with a pinch of salt. Nice. All right. Now that's difficult when you're desperate for reconciliation. It's easier said than done, right? When you're super desperate for reconciliation, you're in a place of a broken marriage, you're not just you're desperate. You want it so badly right now, and that can push you. And that's what we say, why can't people just be adults? You're not necessarily being adult either. You're being controlled by your desperate need for reconciliation, and that usually comes off as clingy, needy, and not sexy. Lack of confidence. Okay, so what do we have next? We have boundaries. Yeah, who's the boundary going for? You. Okay, most people, when they say boundaries, they're drawing boundaries for another human being, not for themselves. You remain respectful. You remain available when it has to do with your responsibility as an adult. Like I said, it's easier said than done, because oftentimes people find themselves in a place of contempt where they feel like they feel some type of way, so they want to be petty, right? Pettiness is real. You get petty with little bit of slight talks, a little bit of insult, condescension, right? Rightfully so, because you feel some type of way. Nonetheless, you are creating damages. You're going the opposite direction, right? So the boundaries in this grounded prestige clarity cycle requires you to now have some self-control, self-respect, right? You don't offer unlimited emotional, romantic, financial when there's no reciprocity. Okay, you can reciprocity is, you need meaningful reciprocity. If you're going to pursue as opposed to chase, you need meaningful reciprocity that balances out with making sure you're feeding self. Okay, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You're always going to be resented by the person you love the most when you're pouring from an empty cup. They'll be the first to turn around and tell you, well, I didn't ask you to. And then you feel even worse. You resent yourself even more, right? Anyway, but if you have self boundaries, a lot of the stuff that we try to prescribe to other people, accountability, or all this is, they need to be self. You put self and dash before them. And that's how you sustain romantic. That's why people want to be around you, as opposed to everything else, which is being a moral police, which is not sexy. Purpose. Your life continues, right? You have a whole life ahead of you. How dare you put it on hold because somebody is giving you mixed signals? You're an ingrate in the grand scheme of things, okay? But I'm not blaming you. I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know that you are an ingrate. Okay, because clearly you're not taking inventory properly. You're just going by somebody's ability to be able to reciprocate how you feel about them. Yes, including your wife, your dutiful wife. Yes. Same thing. It's your attitude about romantic relationships in general. If you were going to teach or mentor somebody who is just dating, you'll be teaching them this same thing of, yeah, a little bit entitled. Okay, that's why all they're getting is pressure. That's why they're getting pushed away further and further, because you're entitled. Okay, but when you have purpose, right, your life continues, you strengthen your parenting, because that's still an opportunity for you, opportunity for contact, right? You strengthen that, you strengthen your health, you strengthen your faith, your work, your life mission, your friendships. You know, those guys you haven't spoken to in a while, why don't you just send a text, hey, what's up? Right, for no reason. Okay, most importantly, you strengthen your personal development rather than organizing your whole identity around the uncertainty. This is what I mean by you've lost yourself, right? When you engage purpose again, it's no way you will not create value. It's literally impossible that you won't create value. So now we find ourselves at a state of value, guys. Your stability, your discipline, your emotional intelligence is now going through the roof. There's nothing like you in the streets. No one is running away from you. Are they mad? No, nobody's leaving you with that level of value that you're bringing. If they did, they are mad. And you will feel better because you know that you know that you know that you bring value. That level of self-respect increases. That doesn't mean you won't have moment of, rejection breeds obsession. It is what it is, right? But because of ground, you're able to trace your step. Let me show you something really cool about this, right? From any one of this state, you can always go back to grounding. Oh my God. You can always go back to this guy. If you feel any type of weakness from anyone, you can always go back here, right? You can always go back from, let's say your boundary got weak a little bit. You can find your path back to boundaries. Let's say purpose becomes a little bit unclear because after all, you married, you created a family, right? So the last thing you want is for it to be broken apart, and then now you start to question all this stuff. If you question any one of these states, instead of going back to ambiguity, you have the option of going back to grounding. You find your footing again. Go back to your source of truth. Not your truth. Your truth is crazy. That's diabolical. Your source of truth. Very, very important. Okay? And if you have that much value, like I said, nobody is avoiding you because it goes to attraction. Okay? Now, all of this stuff are momentary, but they get stronger. The more you're able to trace your step back to grounding, all of the cycle start going from grounding. As you can see, there's not a path from grounding to ambiguity because grounding is grounding. It's everything. Some people call it love. While everyone is walking around town talking about love is not enough when they don't really know what love means. But that's what we mean by grounding. You find yourself back. You need to know what love means. You need to have proper definition for love before you use that language, right? You find yourself back to your source of truth. Then you can always trust that you can move forward to evidence and then boundaries and then purpose and value. Now, this is easier said than done. This is a very difficult process. But this right here is the universal roadmap. All right, so the